Hey folks, Machinery Pete here, and here's a picture of kind of the famous 1992 John Deere 4960 tractor I featured on my Facebook page last week. You're looking at this tractor in the condition it was in 2012, 1992 model, 14 hours on it. The original owner who bought it in 92, for some reason, out there in central Ohio, parked it outside and just left it. And here's what it looked like after 20 years. So I've been waiting to release the YouTube video. We just featured this tractor in the first episode of our new Machinery Pete's Auction of the Week show on RFD TV, and that aired today. So now I wanted to give a little more background here and show you an interview I shot out in Rushville, Ohio with Ryan Young. Ryan and his dad Joe Young, bought this tractor back in 2012, and just a one-of-a-kind tractor, a 20-year-old John Deere 4960 with 14 hours on it. And here's the story from Ryan Young. Okay folks, Machinery Pete here, and I've seen tens of thousands of tractors over the 23 years I've been tracking auctions, and this is, I think, one of the most amazing ones I've ever run across. A 1992 John Deere 4960 with, I'm not kidding you, 47.1 hours on it. Yep, 47.1 hours. I'm actually in central Ohio, in Rushville, Ohio here, and got Ryan Young here to tell me the story about this tractor. Ryan, you're the you and your dad Joe own the tractor here. Now, tell us about these hours. Unbelievable. You bought this a couple years ago?
Yeah, actually we bought it in March of 2012.
Okay.
The fellow that originally owned this, I guess to start, we've always known about the tractor sitting.
And it actually sat outside for 20 years, right?
Actually sat outside for 20 years. The fellow bought it brand new in 1992, and from what I understand, that happened to be when he quit farming.
Right.
And instead of getting rid of everything, he basically just left it sit.
And we've got pictures of this tractor actually had trees growing up around it.
Yes, I actually have a picture of it. Trees growing up through the step, had to be cut out and around the front tire.
Yep.
I just guess, like I said, I'd always heard about the story of it, and always kind of wanted to get it, but never had the opportunity. The fellow that owned it just didn't want to sell it to anybody, and then he had passed away, and then of course everybody started talking about it, and I had a friend come down and was at my shop just telling me about all this farm equipment he was buying. And I started putting two and two together and asked him if he had a 4960 sitting there.
So it was kind of well known that this was a tractor, a brand new tractor that had been sitting outside all these years.
Yes, it's very well known. There had been several actual farmers try to buy it, and the owner of it had met him at the door with a shotgun, just not even wanting to talk about it.
Right.
And
so you had the opportunity to get in and buy the tractor. And what kind of condition was it when you? Now these tires, you put new. You still have the original tires, right?
Still have the original tires.
Okay.
It did not have any hubs or any duals on it at all. And I guess he did have these brand new tires. He had spare tires for every tractor he had in a barn. And I couldn't find any Goodyears to match the duals, and I guess I kind of like having matching tires.
Sure.
So we went ahead and put the Firestones on, and I just set the Goodyears back.
And now again, how many hours on it were at that point? Was it 14.9? Did you say?
Yeah, actually, when I had the opportunity to go in and look at it with a friend of mine that purchased everything, it was sitting there with the trees growing up through it, the covers off the battery box, and the batteries were laying just basically right here by the front tires, which we have pictures of. And I had taken up a pair of batteries I had out of another 4960, stuck them in it, turned the key on, and it registered 14.9 hours.
20 years old.
20 years old, 14.9 hours.
And now you're all the way up to what, 40?
47.1, I think, approximately is what's on it.
You've tripled the hours.
Yes, tripled the hours.
Wow. And there was just a little situation where some sap had dripped on the hood from the tree all those years?
Yeah, actually it sat between a barn and a woods, and right beside the barn was a tree that I would say was probably grown up over the 20 years and covered it in the last few years. Had put sap on it, of course left leaves on it, and they decayed. And the cab roof's the original paint, and it had started deteriorating. The fender tops have deteriorated a little bit, just the paint.
Mm-hmm.
But all the foam seals that were around the screens, the side screens, and the hood held enough moisture that it started rusting them out pretty good. So
Sure.
we did have places like on the base of the screen that were rotted through. So we did have to, if we wanted to save it, I didn't know whether it was better to leave it original or clean it up a little bit. So we decided to go ahead and make the decision to repaint the hood, repair that stuff.
Sure.
Fuel tanks original paint, fenders, all the cab, everything.
4
cab.
hydraulics, is that right?
4 remotes on it, and that's honestly something I'd never seen.
Yeah.
Also, called the dealer where this come from because it was bought new here in Ohio.
Okay.
And they wouldn't release the actual sales statement
Sure.
from it because back then they used social securities and numbers and they had that on there. But the fella had bought this tractor brand new for $72,000.
Wow.
And they would release that.
$72,000 brand new in 1992.
Brand new in 1992, and I believe he purchased it in April of 1992.
Okay.
And
Now, I understand, Ryan, in the cab, we still have the original plastic on the seat
yes,
and the cardboard.
If you'd like to come over and see it.
Oh, gotta see it.
There you go. Yeah, it's actually, you can see still has the original shipping cardboard. The plastic, it had started to break up a little bit, and I do think the seat faded out a little bit.
Sure.
But I mean, it still smells as new as the day the tractor was built. We figured it up.
Boy, Ryan is not kidding, folks. This is a time machine of the nose right here, going back to this brand new cab. This is amazing.
And we figured it up. It probably between where it set got about 3 hours of sunlight a day, and that I think I don't know why he never put it in the barn, but at least it was shaded enough to help I guess from fading it out really bad.
20-year-old tractor sat outside, trees growing up around it. 47 hours on it. Unbelievable. Ryan, you must have folks that just want to come out and sit in that cab and hear the story.
Yeah, we've had a few local friends that once they found out who got a hold of it, want to come out. The neatest thing about it is just getting up in the cab and still being able to smell that new tractor smell. It just makes you feel like, you know, you were getting in it just like it had been delivered from Deere, 20 years ago. Took you back in time.
And I understand you have a couple other quite interesting, actually at the same acquisition, you have a 4020 with how many hours on it?
Yeah, the 4020 has 700 hours. It's when I run the serial number, I believe it was a 67.
Okay. 700 hours?
700 hours. It was actually, from what the fellow's son told me, he had parked it in 1982, had a hydraulic leak or something like that, and just parked it outside.
So that sat outside too?
But he did throw a tarp over the dash.
Okay.
When I pulled the tarp off the dash, by the pictures, the paint's still new, and the tach showed 700 hours.
Wow.
The motor is locked up. It had set apparently uncovered, and I got to try to get the motor freed up. But at 700 hours, there was a 3020 there, a 68. When I uncovered the dash of it, it had I think it showed 16 or 1800 hours on it. I believe it's 1800. Still had the sprayer hooked to it, the foam marker applicator on it, and all that, and he just parked them in a row there.
Wow. All sitting outside all these years.
Yep. And the 3020 I've got running, been using it, and I know you'd think a 1967 or 8, someone's probably replaced the tach, but you just really get to looking at the tractors, like the clutch pedal and brake pedal don't show the wear from where your feet were.
Yeah.
They still got a lot of the original foam seals up around the hood, and you just don't find that after a tractor of that age.
And you've done a lot of work over the years, Ryan, with John Deere tractors, kind of getting your hands dirty, working on them, restoring them, so you kind of have a feel for them.
Yeah, I actually, I've grown up around them all my life. running
First
30.
tractor you drove was a what?
First tractor I drove was a 4230. Dad bought new. He bought it new in '76, and I was born in '81. Probably drove it, and I'm guessing '86, somewhere around in there. And then we.
And you even showed your dad has his dad's old John Deere B, right?
Yeah. Actually, my grandpa had a 50 John Deere B, and sold it to a fellow at our church, and then the fellow at church decided to sell, so we went down, got it back, and restored it.
Okay, one more question, Ryan. Possible to get a look at that 4020?
Oh, more than welcome. More than welcome.
Okay, well again, folks, this is the 4960. You'll be talking about in the coffee shops, a 1992 model, 47 hours on it. Ryan, thanks again for telling us the story. Just
Thanks for
unbelievable.
coming.